I mean, I have a few questions for you, of course,
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, I don't know how much time you have, but I definitely appreciate this, man. This is something we've been battling now for about 2 years. We discovered about mid 2017 that Ronald had ripped us off. And there's about 20, 24, 25 of us that I know of, right? So,
Right.
I was just wondering, is it okay if I record this to refer back to it later?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no problem with it. I mean, anyways, it's the truth. This is what happened. I have no problem in sharing, right?
Yeah,
There
buddy.
are certain things in the contract that I can't share, which is the pricing, volume, details, specific details of the contract I can't share. But in general, I can tell you the whole thing. I have no problem.
You're awesome, man. You are awesome because
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little background on me. So back in 2000 and late 2008, the stock market was doing really poor because of the housing market,
The recent, yeah, 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 yeah.
So I invested my daughter's college money when she was born. She was born in 2015, or I mean 2005. I'm sorry, and and I was in Kuwait because I was in the military. So I was in Kuwait, and I couldn't do anything but watch the market, drop. And my daughter's money was in a Vanguard account. So I got back and lost probably 40% of her college money, which at the time wasn't a lot because I just started saving. So I started looking for safe investments. So I ran across Pacific Teak and the website. I requested more information, and Ronald called me the next day. I was stationed in Guam then. So he called me back, and that's when we got to talking, and he wanted to know what I could afford. But I'm gonna and so I invested. I pulled the money out of her 529 plan, and then I financed the rest of the investments, right? So but just you don't know who Ronald Fleming. You never met him, but you did business with him over the phone, though, right?
Yeah, so the way it worked is, let me tell you this. So in 2016 was when, late 2016 was when the Hurricane Otto in Costa Rica came, right? And it devastated a lot of teak plantations that were in the San Carlos region.
Right.
So 2017 was a big boom in Costa Rica because all this volume had to be extracted from
Right.
the entire San Carlos region. So 2017, July, August was when, June, July was when one of my agents who goes and you
Uh-huh. Hello?
for me, he I knew. Hello.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah. So this the from Pacific Creek, we already knew that there is a farm in San Carlos. There are a couple of farms of Pacific Creek in San Carlos, and I mean, they were a prospect for us as well. Later in 2019, 2020, when the final harvesting was supposed to happen.
Okay.
So one of my agents, he got in contact with this forestry engineer named Ivan,
Right.
and the legal representative or administrator of Pacific Creek here named Alan.
What I'm being
So, sorry?
what I'm being told about Alan, and what I've always heard about Alan, was he just watches the farms. I didn't know he was a
Yeah.
lawyer at all.
So, no, he's not the lawyer, but he's the legal representative. Legal representative means the physical person that can sign on behalf of the company in this country.
Okay.
That's Alan. He's not a lawyer. He's just the caretaker. I mean, he just works at the farm, but he has the right to sign.
Right.
Right. So we went back and forth with. I went back and forth with Ivan on pricing, on the parameters of how it is going to be taken out, because all the farm, the entire farm, had this destruction of around 70-80% of the trees were uprooted, and they were uprooted in 2016 November December. So these were good 7-8 months that the wood was on the ground.
Okay.
The trees were the trees were not dead, but they were on the ground obstructing the passage.
Okay.
Right. So we discussed with Ivan on that the costs of extraction are going to be a bit higher because the trees are on the ground and there is no clear passage for the containers to pass. So we negotiated a price which was a bit lower than the market, but that's what was going on for these kind of trees that had been fallen down due to the hurricane. So I negotiated with them. We had a good 6-digit amount as an advance. I deposited that money. After we brought it down to a certain level, I was supposed to replenish it. And doing this, we took out, if I am not wrong, 110, 115, somewhere around that many containers.
How many?
And we finished that 115 or somewhere around that.
115, okay.
Yeah. So we took out that wood, and then there was still wood left, but there was no time to take it out. It was raining heavily in that zone. So now we come to 2018. I have a furniture business where I import from China and I sell in Costa Rica. So on my shop, on my showroom, a gentleman came. He's from somewhere. He got to know that I was the one who took out the Teak last year in 2017, the year before, and he came to my shop and he threatened me to sue me, and he used some strong words, and I was like, first of all, I don't know who you are. You're coming to me and you're telling me something that you are not party to it. But
right.
He's supposed to be an investor, one of the investors in Pacific Teak. I understood his part, after I sat down and I thought about it, I understood why he was feeling frustrated, right? Because it's his Teak, his money, not his Teak, but it's his money
right.
that he gave to Ron, and Ron invested in Teak, and the proceeds were supposed to go to him, but Ron or this company supposedly did not give to the investors.
You don't remember the guy's name, do you?
I can find it out. I don't remember.
If I say his name, would you remember?
I mean, I tried going through the file that you sent, the 27 or 25 names. I couldn't figure it out. See, it happened 2 years ago for me, and it was just something passing by, right?
There's two. There are names on that are not on that list that did not participate, and I know 2 people that were in country. They were down there in 2018, and that was Chris Hempshire and John Shaw. Chris
which one of them is elderly? I mean,
both of them.
60s.
Both of them kind of are. One of them has an English accent, and the other one doesn't.
I can probably recognize from a photograph, or you can ask them. They would know me, right? Because I met them. I met the guy who came to my showroom, and after I heard from him and understood what he was saying, it took me a bit of time because we were discussing. I was discussing with Alan, Ron, and Ivan regarding this business. That what are we going to take out in 2018 and all. But once I understood the problem, I never deposited any money and I did not take out anything after that. So 2017 was the only time that I took out wood from this farm.
Okay.
I did talk to Ron on WhatsApp and over the phone. I don't remember if he called me ever over the phone or was it always WhatsApp. I talked to him, but verbally. There was no a person. I mean, I did not see him.
Right.
So it was always on phone, and I talked to him. We did discuss a bit on it. We never went through any specifics over phone. But yes, I did talk to him on over phone regarding this business.
And this was in 2018.
This was in 2018, yes.
Ah, see, that's perfect. I'm gonna tell you that's huge. And the reason why is because Ronald claims he retired from Pacific Teak in 2013. I have another question for you. It's at the end of the questions. I have a whole list of questions, but I'm gonna just skip ahead to this one now. Did you ever meet a guy named Carlos Briceño?
Yes.
You did.
The guy who he made the contract, the first contract. Carlos Briceño was the guy who made the contract, and he was the one who was there when I signed the contract.
Did he present himself as the president of Pacific Management Group or Pacific Teak?
No. He was presented to me as the lawyer who was managing legal work for Pacific Teak in Costa Rica, but never as president or whatever.
Right. That's what Ronald claims, is that Carlos, as of 2016, Carlos was the owner and manager and president of Pacific Teak and Pacific Management Group. Because Ronald's trying to wash his hands of this.
Right. No, Carlos Briceño presented
as the lawyer. Hello? Oh, yeah, you're back. Okay. Yeah, you disappeared for a second.
So, third world country, internet problems.
Oh, I know, dude. I know. My wife's from El Salvador. When we go down there, it's the same thing, buddy.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, so I'm just.
I have emails from Carlos where he sent me the drafted versions of the contract, and we went back and forth on some things on the contract.
Okay.
But he never presented as the president. For me, he was always a lawyer for Pacific Teak here.
That's what Ron claims he is. That he's now the president, and that if any questions that we, of course, he's blocked all the investors on Facebook, email, phone, So we sent him that 90-day notice that we want our money. But okay, so I have like a series of questions for you. So Ivan Chaveri, okay, are you there? Hello? Yeah, this is mine. Hello? Yeah. So Ivan.
The money was paid here to the bank account of Pacific Teak in Costa Rica.
Ronald has money. Hello?
This company's bank account received, not the exact amount I can say, but over 400 grand.
See,
for this Teak sales.
Right. Okay, I have a bunch of questions for you. Okay. So Ivan sent us an email, all the investors, April 6th of 2018. Okay. And in this email, Ivan said that 85% of the plantations were destroyed. Okay. So was that accurate?
So the plantation was destroyed, yes.
What amazes me, though, is John Shaw, who was the lawyer for the company, and Chris Hampshire went down there in 2018, and they took photographs, and it doesn't make much sense how across the street from the Pacific Teak plantations, those plantations are in perfect order. I just...
Right. So it was actually something very strange that happened. The Hurricane Otto, when it came, it did not destroy the complete zone, the complete area. So it kind of jumped from one spot to the other. So there were many companies that suffered, but some other companies did not. So there is another company by the name of RGI, Reforestation Group, for Teak, and they are from Holland. 90% of deer farms were also destroyed. but they have over 1,000 hectares, 1,300 hectares. One of their farms was not touched, even though the entire 1,300 hectares is together. So the hurricane kind of like jumped from one spot to the other. So it destroyed where it landed, the eye landed. And then it jumped to the other spot, let's say 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers down. That's where it destroyed. But in between, there was no destruction. This farm, not the entire plantation of Pacific Teak, but this particular farm, which is, they call this farm 4, if I remember correctly. This farm was the one which was destroyed. The other farm was not touched.
Okay, so not all of Pacific Teak's farms were destroyed, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Not all, but this particular farm was destroyed. This was 100 plus hectares, which was destroyed. Again, destruction of plantation does not mean there is no salvage value, right? Destruction of plantation means the trees were not in the ground, they were uprooted, but they still had commercial value, and that's what they sold it for, right?
Okay. Yeah, you're going in and out. So, but yeah, you just said that the trees didn't lose value. So, okay, cool.
The value was there, plantation was destroyed.
Okay, so the tree value was there. Okay, so that explains. So, yeah, so apparently the way Pacific Teak was set up, okay, is that answers that question. But the thing is in Ivan's letter, which he mailed out in April of 18, he said in the letter that once the extraction process was done, that investors, this is 2 years ago. This is more than 2 years ago. And he said that once the extraction was done, which obviously you've done, that we would start receiving some of the proceeds as investors. It's been over 2 years, right? And we haven't seen a dime. Okay.
And the money, I paid them in advance. There was never a delay in payments. I had to pay first, only then could I take out the wood.
Gotcha.
So the money was paid at the time we stopped. April 2018, we had stopped working.
Okay. Okay, so my next question to you is this. So you claimed that you were working another location harvesting trees when a plantation owner told you Ronald was having problems with investors and stopped working with them, okay? Do you know, how did this guy find out about that, or do you know?
So this guy went to the farm, to this teak farm of Pacific Teak, and there was somebody who had worked as labor for me in that farm. So when this guy asked him, that guy gave that peon gave my number, right? And through my name and my number, this guy approached me.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, somebody working on the farm called you.
Right.
I got that was working on Pacific Teak's farms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, but that guy worked for me in Pacific Teak's farm for the process of extraction. But at that time, I don't know whether he was working or what he was doing when he found this investor, or when the investor found this guy.
I got you. I got you. So I'm telling you, I believe that was John and Chris out there, and they're elderly, right? So I believe that that's who approached you, and that's who approached this guy and told him that, because they were out there in 2018, buddy.
Michael, just a second. I need to order something. Can you hold on for a minute?
Yeah, bud.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Perdón. Aunque son cappuccino. ¿Cuáles son los sabores aplicados? One coffee. Okay. Ten coffee. Entonces, cappuccino è così fabbricato. Solo per il sentito. Volendo qualche. Queremos un caramelo o un mocha. Sí. Y con leche de crema, por favor. Y el tercero, maricón, para favor, digo, ¿cuál le gusta a él? Por favor. No, eso sería. Sin azúcar, uno de caramelo. Ok, entendido. Está bien. ¿Qué más, Mari? ¿Quiere para comer algo? ¿Un lemon loaf? Sí. ¿Tiene lemon loaf? Sí, uno, por favor. Sí, está. Muchas gracias. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good, man. I'm having my cappuccino too, man. I've been.
In Costa Rica, we had the last couple of weeks had been closed down. The San Jose city had been closed down, and this week is when it has opened. So we were like craving for some Starbucks.
Oh yeah, dude. We've been open here in the United States, but that's why our COVID cases have blown up. You know, it's out of control, man. I've been vegan for 2 months now, and I feel good. I've eaten no animal products in 2 months. But yeah, so I'm gonna explain to you how Pacific Teak worked. Okay, and this is why your lawyers never saw anything, because Ronald made the contracts and everything for Pacific Teak through Pacific Teak, right? So he didn't register anything down there. He was very calculated in how he did things, right? And how he did business. So he made the contracts and the deeds through his company, and that was a separate thing, right?
Right.
So your lawyers wouldn't have seen that. That's why you didn't know, until I'm sure Carla told you and that this was happening. But
No, I didn't know the problem was this serious or there was this much of a problem. I did know there was something going on because I was, after this gentleman that came to my shop, I also talked to a friend of mine. His name is Sean Obuche. He used to work in Pacific Teak way back in 2010, 2012, I guess.
He was a salesman.
Yeah.
Was he Canadian?
Yeah, Canadian, yes.
Okay.
So I knew him from some other contact. Once we met at a coffee shop, and that's how we became friends. And I did mention him after this gentleman came to my shop, and I told him, see, this is what I heard from this gentleman that came. And Sean told me, Arvinder, then back off. Because if it is like this, then there is something seriously wrong in this company.
Correct. Yeah, oh, there is.
Because investors are the ones that paid for it. So once Sean also told me, that's when I found my mind, okay, no way I'm going to get into it, because it's actually a mess.
Oh my gosh, you don't even know, man. It is a big mess. Yeah. Okay. Answers that question. So all right, so you've already answered the next one, because you claimed that it was 4,000 a container, 100 to 115 containers. That's 400,000. Yeah. And Ronald received that money, right? Or
yeah, as I told you, the bank account here in Costa Rica, I deposited that bank account.
Okay.
It belonged to this company.
Okay. So Ronald got the money. You deposited it directly in there. So you claim there's a lot of wood on the farms, right? After you purchase. So do you know roughly how many hectares, or no? Just rough guesstimate.
See, what I know is farm number 3 has like 60-70% of the wood.
Okay.
The other farms I've never visited, so I actually don't know. But The other plantations are still intact. I mean, there is no. The only thing that we purchased and was damaged was this farm number 4.
Farm 4 was the only one destroyed. Okay.
Yes.
So there were 6 farms. Okay, and the way our contracts were written was that for every tree that we purchased, there was a backup plantation. I don't know which plantation that was, but we had a backup tree in case of natural disaster for every tree purchased. Okay. So, and that's the way our contract, and of course, all the investors want to know, well, if you had backup trees on another farm, in case one farm's destroyed, you have backup trees. Where is that money, right? Where? So, um,
See, I'll tell you this. Uh, the farms that are out here, the property has a lot of value. These farms in itself are very good. So we're talking about, let's say, over $2 million of property, right?
right,
The plantations.
$2 million,
It's still out there.
and it's still
At
there.
least, yeah. I mean, that's what I would assume. Yeah, that's what I would assume based on.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. So, hello? Yeah, here's a question I have for you, buddy. So after Ronald in 2008-9, because my January is when I made my contract, right? So we started the process in 2008. Okay. So a question I have is, this is me personally. I don't know about other people, right? But hold on, I had the numbers written down here. Okay, here they are. So in 2008, I bought the way it worked was Ronald would send you, hello? 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 Yeah. Okay, so the way it worked was Ronald would send you after he made his initial contact with you, he would send you what was called a Teak forecaster, and that's what his sales material was, right? So he would find out what you could afford, and he would find a parcel for you, right? So I'm going to get your opinion on something as a professional. Just a quick, how long have you been doing this? How many?
I've been in the industry since 2010.
Okay, so you've been doing it 10 years. So a year longer than Carla then. Okay, um, so, okay, just your opinion, okay, on I bought 3-year-old teak trees in 2009 for $285.50 per tree. Was that ridiculously overpriced?
Okay, so teak tree, just to buy the tree, it costs $1 here.
$1.
3 years, $1. Yeah, a teak tree is $1 to buy. When I buy trees which are 20 years old, the purchase cost today is $20.
How much?
$20.
20?
For $20.
A 20-year-old tree is $20.
Yes. Now, there are some trees that grow huge, some that remain small. If you average it out, it would never be more than $30. That's average. $30 per tree in that zone.
Are you serious?
I'm being serious. Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so on this Teak forecaster, okay, I crunched my numbers. I looked at my forecast because I'm a digital pack rat. I save everything, right? So when I bought my trees in 2009, I paid $285.50 for 3-year-old trees. Okay?
Right.
So you're laughing. So I got ripped off.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, now listen at this. Now listen at this. And Ronald's Teak forecaster, okay, he he claimed that the likely payout for my 15-year-old trees would be $1,749.30 per tree. $1,749 per tree.
No way, no,
No way.
no way, no. That kind of thing does not exist. So I'll tell you the scams that it's a scam. To be frank, it's a scam. The teak scams that have happened are because the teak from Myanmar, Burma, that is the teak that is sold at ridiculously high pricing. But that tree, that teak is over 80 years old. 80 years old.
80-year-old trees go for that price.
Yes.
So Ronald,
exactly.
so Ronald was planting these trees at $1 each and then selling them to suckers like me for $285.50.
Yeah. Now, should I tell you something interesting?
Yeah, please.
If you plant teak in Costa Rica, the government pays you money for it to plant and to manage it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't need to pay that money. So Ronald was not supposed to pay anything. What he invested in was in land, to buy the land, take trees, and the management comes for free because the government pays you money to have a plantation.
Do you know those amounts?
You can ask them yourself. There is a government entity called FONA-FIFO.
Oh, you're going to have to spell that, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, it's FONA-FIFO.
Oh, former FIFA. Okay, so they know that amount.
I actually don't have the numbers right now. We are actually working on another plantation which is over 3,000 hectares, and we are getting those numbers from the government. But this is the plan because the government pays you. And why do they pay you? Because then they own the carbon rights for the next 15 years.
That carbon credits was Ronald told me on the phone in 2011 that he was collecting the carbon credits for his plantations. So that was a lie.
So usually the government, if you take money from the government, the carbon credits are theirs. You don't have to do anything. You have to maintain the farm, the plantation for 15 years. And after 15 years, you're free to do whatever you want with your teak. The money that the government paid you to set the plantation up, you have it. That's it.
So the government pays you to set the plantation up.
Yes.
We've always wondered where that money came, where Ronald got the money to start the plantations. Okay.
Yeah, so the government pays you that money.
Wow, dude. You are really a lot of information. You're answering a lot of questions investors have had for a long time. And I appreciate it, man.
See, Michael, I'll tell you something. See, I'm always there to have. There's no problem. I mean, it doesn't cost me anything to give you all this information.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there.
Understand this in all your future investments as well. When you're working on something, on any investment, you need to see where is it going to be sold, and your buyer, the end buyer, has to give you that information. I am an Indian. Teak is to be sold in India.
Yeah.
So the information you could have got from any Indian in the trade would have been much more precise as compared to what Ronald gave.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ronald, on his website, I don't know if you've ever been to the Pacific Teak website, but Ronald presented himself on the company bio there as being a professional in the business, an expert in teak. And I'm like, I took his word, he misrepresented himself. And I took his word, just like all the other investors, that he is a professional in this business. I've never dealt in teak before. I was new. and I took his word that my trees would be worth $1,749 each at the end of 15 years, and I gave him 285.50 per tree, in 2009. So,
This is actually a response. Yeah.
that's wow. And hearing you say that they're worth $20, and he paid $1 each for them, and now come to find out he's getting paid just to own the plantations. Oh man, yeah, we got ripped off huge, huge, and now he's got $400,000 of your money. Oh my.
Your money. He was supposed to pay to you.
Okay, so yeah, he's supposed to pay to us. Okay, so I have some questions. As soon as I told other investors, 'cause we have a message board, right? We some of the other investors had questions. These are good questions. So Greg Robertson, he's from New Zealand. He owns a lodge down in southern Costa Rica, and he lost his kids' college money as well. So he wants to know the legality and government certified documentation involved in the sale of our teak trees to export. So everything was legal, right? As far as your end, and everything was legal, right?
Yes.
And there's government certified documentation.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll explain you the process and you'll understand what is it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
When I buy the farm, when I buy the teak, the owner of the farm has to give me a document which is authorized by the Ministry of Environment.
Right. Minay, right?
So, Minai, exactly. Minai.
Oh, Minai.
So Minai and the College of Forestry Engineers is supposed to authorize that contract. The contract between forestry engineer and the owner of the farm. In this case, being Alan, the owner of the farm, and Ivan being the forestry engineer.
Right.
Right. So Ivan signed a contract with Alan and submitted it to the forestry engineer. Put them in approval. Yes, everything is okay. You can take out this wood.
Right.
Now, after this permission, they take it to Minai and they say, we are going to take out this wood and we will take care of the small river that passes through the farm. There would not be any environmental damage.
Okay.
So Minai says, okay, go ahead, take this out. After Minai gives the permission and signs the contract, the forestry engineer is ready to print what is called the guia de transporte, the transport permit. Without this transport permit, the teak cannot circulate on national roads.
Okay.
So when I buy, what do? I send my container, which is filled in the farm, and when I receive this document, the transport permit, and I pay, they give me the transport permit, and I can take out my container for exports.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of Carla broke it down to me like that as well. So it's good to hear you say it too. So yeah, Carla told me that process. Here's a good question. So we're forestry. So you just answered that. So we're forestry engineers or inspectors in attendance during the harvesting of the teak trees. So yeah, they were.
They are supposed to be. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you just answered that. So the payment, yeah, you just told me that was deposited into a Costa Rican bank, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, PMG was set up in Panama. That's where Ronald launders his money through. Is through Panama. It's crazy, dude. So yeah, taxes were paid on the trees, right? Have you ever heard of a company called Pacific Teak Process?
No, I never.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think that's a whole separate entity, but Greg wants to know. There's another company with kind of the same name. but it's called Pacific
Uh-huh.
Teak Process.
No, my company is named on my, on my surname, Ahuja Timber, right? So my name is Arvinder Ahuja, and Ahuja is my surname, my last name, and on my last name is my company's name.
Yeah. Um, let's see. He wanted to know, did you purchase the trees from PMG or Fleming himself in a private sale? I don't know.
No, it was a sale from Pacific Teak, which is the Costa Rican entity, the owner of the land.
Did you know that Pacific Teak is actually owned by a Panamanian corporation called Pacific Management Group that Ron is the president of? Pacific Teak is just one entity of Pacific Management Group. They have multiple companies, but that's just one of them.
Right. See, I am not sure because this is the part which my lawyer handles, right?
Yeah.
What I am usually concerned is who represents the company and whether that person has the right to sign on behalf of the company. And yes, Alan had all the rights to sign, so I just went with that.
Yeah. Okay, so I told you, I told you about my forecaster already. So yeah, and my question was, did those numbers seem accurate? And you said no, that's a scam. So that answered that. And then I already asked you about Carlos Bryce Senior. So yeah, so Ronald claimed Carlos took over PMG's Pacific Management Group, right, in 2016 as the president and CEO. And that's the parent company of Pacific Teak. So you said Carlos was just the lawyer, but Ron, so your opinion, Ron still runs the show, right?
See, Ron always, of course, that's what I understood, right? Because he's the big guy. He's the guy from the States.
Right.
Everybody else is from Costa Rica. So, of course, the farm has to be of somebody who is a gringo, who is an American. That's Ron. So I know Ron is the owner, but the way it is set up, I had to send everything to Ivan. I discussed with Ivan.
Yeah.
And Ivan probably discussed with Ron because he didn't know shit on what price to sell.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so in the scenes behind the scenes, Ron, I guess, was running the whole thing, and there was a woman named Yvette as well.
Yvette is his wife.
Okay, so somewhere that she was also involved in one of the conversations, I guess, that Ron was not available, so Yvette was taking that call because he was in some rehab due to a car accident. Something like that happened. Does it happen?
Was it a skateboard accident? I heard he had a skateboard accident on a skateboard or something. I don't know. That's irrelevant. I mean, but Yvette, so Ronald's hiding everything, and rumor on the street is that Yvette's mother, who is a seamstress, is now in possession of 3,000 hectares of land in Costa Rica. So Ron Trent, from rumor on the street is, we have a lawyer in Costa Rica named Hernando Perez, who is going to also get a copy of what we're talking about right now, because I've been recording this, and this is information that they need to know, man. I mean, I 100% appreciate what you've done here, but yeah, it's a scam, dude. It's a scam.
It's a scam.
Hernando.
There have been many other scams of Teak where similar numbers have been proposed. I can recommend you some companies which have Canada and the States. They can also probably, give you a consultation on what the pricing was like at that time so that you can, vet the forecaster. There is a company by the name of Barca, which is a plantation management company from Canada.
Okay, how do you spell that?
Barca.
A Barca? Okay, and they are a Canadian.
Teak plantation management company. They own or they manage thousands and thousands of hectares of teak in Costa Rica and Panama
Okay.
for various other investment companies. So Barca can probably give you a consultation on, to get you straight on how the forecaster was a big scam.
God, man, bro, right. We have other investors, and that some with the one in particular who thinks that Teak forecaster is irrelevant to this whole thing. But that Teak forecaster is what was sent to each investor after the initial conversation with Ronald about what we could afford to spend, right, and what we could afford to invest. Of course, I wasn't putting all my investment dollars in one basket, and thank God I didn't, right? Ronald kept trying to talk me out of he tried to tell me that I should sell my stocks and invest in more trees. And oh my God, I kicked that idea around, man, but thank God I didn't.
No, that could have been a blunder.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm doing this on behalf of the other investors. I've done all this because I'm young, man. I'm 44. I have a really good job. I have totally recovered. I've totally recovered financially from this, but I would like my money, but
I mean, nobody wants somebody stealing their money. I mean, that's a big no-no.
Oh yeah.
Anything else is okay, but anybody stealing from you is not okay.
Nope. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just want you to understand that you are 100% okay. You know what I mean? You had no idea that Ronald was doing this crap to people.
I had no idea, and Michael, believe me, the moment Carla told me you are one of the investors, I told her, give my number to him. I will talk to him, because first of all, I did not know, somehow, indirectly, I got the bad karma, because I was sold this thing, even though I did not know. My conscience is clear because I did not rob anybody. I paid the due money, the competitive pricing. There were 3 companies bidding for this wood, and I somehow got this contract because I paid more than everybody. So on my conscience, I paid the best dollar on what I got. And I'm very good with my honesty. But it hurts me that this guy who received money from me was actually stealing from somebody else.
Yeah.
And you can steal money. Robbing and stealing is not done. We work hard to earn our money. Why would we allow anybody to steal from us?
Oh, bro, hey, I'm gonna tell you, there are people that are elderly right now in our group that they were depending on this money to retire, and there are people that had to come out of retirement because they never received their money. There are people that lost houses. There are people whose kids can't go to college. There are people losing businesses because they were depending on this payout after 15 years of investment, right? It's really, really bad, man. It's bad.
See, by the way, what I see is somehow that can be proven to the Costa Rican Court of Law. A restraining order can be taken on this firm. I don't know whether it can be done or not. For me, in a normal world, it should be proven and it should be done. That land is worth millions.
The land is worth millions.
Yeah, much more than that, because in that area, pineapple is the biggest product, and from Costa Rica, pineapple is the biggest export.
Pineapples?
Pineapples. So $10,000 per hectare is the pricing that's going on in that area.
10,000 per hectare, and Ronald has 3,000 hectares.
I don't know whether the entire 3,000 hectares is in that area or not, but the teak farms are in that area where the pricing is $10,000 a hectare.
10,000 a hectare.
Yes.
And Ronald has 3,000 hectares.
30 million, I guess that's the count, right?
Wow.
So
Wow.
the
So
land is
Ronald
worth
has
that
the.
much.
So if Ronald sold his farms, he could definitely pay us. He could.
Exactly. If you are able to put a liquidator for those lands, he'll definitely be able to pay everybody, because these lands are a gold mine. They are in the area where pineapple grows the fastest, and there are companies out there to buy pineapple farms.
Yeah, that explains why one of the investors, he wants to get the land. He wants to get the land from Ronald because he said we could grow pineapples on that land and make a fortune if we were to get the
And
land
make a
from him.
pot.
That
Exactly. So pineapple companies earn a huge ton of money, and that's why they're able to pay up to $10,000 a hectare. And that area where this
Wow.
land is rich in soil where pineapples can be planted.
Wow. That's good to know.
Yeah. Plus, there are other companies that are involved in teak trade that would actually want to buy this land for teak itself.
Yeah, I would
There is a
go into
farm.
pineapples.
Yeah. No, pineapples definitely is a good trade, fantastic business.
Yeah.
If somebody can cut this show for you guys and you guys have that land, it's better to take the land rather than money, because land is worth much more.
Yeah. I mean, you could grow pineapples forever.
Forever. Yeah, exactly. And huge market for pineapples.
Oh, I know. They're expensive, man.
But you'll need to prove, I don't know, Costa Rican government, because the way it is formed, I guess Ron would have thought through everything.
He would have what?
He would have thought through everything.
Yeah.
All the loopholes he would have covered, right?
Yeah, that's a
Because
problem.
it was a plan from the get-go.
Yep. He's had since 2008 to figure out all the loopholes. Damn. Yeah, I really don't want him to get away with this, you know? There's so many people and big problems right now financially about, some people could be homeless and losing businesses, and it's getting really, really bad. And uh he can't get away with this. So, yeah. How's your
I'm available anytime you need anything. I can give you the information, anything you want to know.
Yeah.
For me to hand over the physical contract, there is no problem. I'll need a kind of a court order because there's a confidentiality clause in the contract, right?
Yeah.
And it can go sideways if I give the contract, So if you have a court order from the Costa Rican court, I can hand over the contract.
Well,
the entire thing is there.
Well, I'll give our lawyer in Costa Rica, his name's Hernando Perez. I'll give him your contact info and see if he can get it from you, and he can just do it that way.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that'd be easy.
Hernando,
Hernando, I've never talked to Hernando, but a few of the investors have. But yeah, he'll work with you. Because that piece of paper, what that piece of paper would put Ronald in jail, because he sold trees after he claimed he no longer works there, and
Yeah, but that's the thing. Ronald's name is not on the contract.
but
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. For you to prove he worked with me, probably your lawyer will have to subpoena his WhatsApp records, what he
Yeah.
got with me.
Okay, yeah.
By subpoenaing that, probably.
Did you save that?
I actually 3 months ago my phone was dropped and I could not have a backup of my WhatsApp. So I'm using a new one. I do not have a backup.
Okay.
Of the WhatsApp, but emails I do have, and in emails, let me see if I have Ron here.
Oh, that would be awesome, man. That would be awesome. If you
I have Carlos Briceño, yes. Ron Fleming, let me see. I have Ivan. I have Ron on emails, copied in emails.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can't send those to me
Ron,
though, right? Or can you?
same thing, mate.
For
What should I? Let me just think. Let me just ask my lawyer what can I do if I can send you a screenshot. Oh, I can tell you something. I have an employee who is also marked on this email. If he can give you the document, he is not. I don't know whether he will be abiding by this contract because the contract was me with this specific company. Has nothing to do with my employee, my ex-employee.
yeah.
So he might be able to share a screenshot of the emails, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. If I could have that,
Uh-huh.
it proves Ronald was still working and selling trees and trying to get trees sold in 2018 when after he claims he retired and he claims he retired in 13 and has had nothing to do with the company. That would just prove he's an absolute liar, you know? So,
Right.
yeah, if I could have those emails, you have my email, right? Because I sent you an email yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael Tillman
I do have.
951 at yahoo.com. That's me.
Right. See, I don't have any. Oh, I have an email from Ron.
You
This
do?
is. I have an email from Ron where he's asking for pricing from me.
Perfect, dude.
And he sent me an email. He sent me an email from his grupopacifico.net email ID. This is June 8, 2017.
June
Remember I
8th.
told you June, July was when I was discussing.
Okay, June, July of 17. Right? Okay.
Yes. This is 8th of June 2017 is when he sent me a message asking me for the pricing. And I replied him the pricing for the teak. So that's where the conversation actually starts.
Sweet. Yeah, that's after 2016. That's when he claimed, or 2013. That's when he claims he retired. He claims Carlos took over the company in 16. So, and Carlos was the president. But obviously, if he's asking you for pricing, he still ran the show.
Of course, I mean, see, I'm giving you this date as well. Somehow, if you can subpoena the information, the documents, I'll be more than glad to share all this.
Okay.
But it has to be, kind of a court order or the government asking me for this information for me to hand it over.
Okay.
I can't just give it to you because it puts me in legal jeopardy, right?
Yeah, that's fine, man. I'll have our lawyer. I have all your contact info thanks to Carla, and yeah, we'll have our lawyer make it legal, so no one gets in trouble, dude. Easy day.
Exactly.
Easy day, dude.
Then you can have all this information. Don't let Ron know till the time you have everything that you are talking to me or whatever, right?
Hell no. Hell no. We don't want. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. Rumor is that Ronald's headed down there on the 1st because he's selling one of his condos in San Jose. That's rumor on the street. And the our lawyer there in Hernando, he wants Ronald arrested when he gets in country, and he does not want Ronald to leave. And I probably shouldn't have just told you that. But nah, because
I'm also on guard against this guy now because crooks, you don't know what they can do.
I know. We worry about that too. But I'm gonna tell you, I shouldn't have told you that because I'm gonna let the other investors hear our conversation, and when they hear it, there's a lot of stuff that you just said that you confirmed a lot of things that we were suspicious of, and and now to hear you also say that this was an absolute scam. I mean, those numbers are ridiculous. When Carla originally told me that the most she's paid for a 15-year-old tree was $30, it just blew our minds, man. And now you're telling me the same thing, you know? So Ronald was either one of two things. He was either a con artist from the beginning, he was a scammer and knew he was scamming us, or he's a complete idiot who did not do his research on what the true value of these trees were in the beginning.
That's letting somebody go very easy because did not research. Why did he ask your money for it? I mean, he was representing as a professional, asking your money for an investment, and now he cannot get away by saying, I did not do proper research.
Yeah, it's a scam. It's an outright scam, man.
Ignorance does not give you immunity over law, right? And,
right.
And negligence as well, does not give you something to hide, a curtain where you can hide behind. No,
right.
It does not.
I agree, man.
And if he did a business but he made a loss, he should pay with his money, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has it. You're telling me it's worth $10,000 a hectare, and from what and what I was told, he has almost 3,000 hectares. Man, that's $30 million.
That's $30 million exactly.
He can pay us. He could sell a quarter of that farm and pay us back. I'm going to tell you something. This guy started a marijuana delivery business in California called 7 Point Delivery, right? And he took $100,000 investments from other people in that, and none of those people saw that money back, and they were promised returns after a year or something. I've read the court papers, they were public in San Diego, and he started taking $150,000 investments from 10 other people in a online gambling sports book. He tried to start out of San Diego, as Sean was part of that. Do you know about this or no?
No, I don't know about this, but I know Sean was in that industry.
Sean was in that industry. Yeah, Sean. No, Sean was one of the ones that got ripped off by Ron, is what I heard.
Right, probably because he warned me. This is a mess. Don't get into it.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, we never shared details on it. Neither did I, because I signed this contract with confidentiality, and Sean had, of course, his own confidentiality thing, right? So he did not share details. Neither did I. But I met Sean in a coffee shop. That's a sports book coffee shop here.
A sports book.
That's why I know he was in that industry at that time.
Okay. So that explains that. So I'm piecing that puzzle together now. Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
Let me know if I can be of any help. Your lawyer can contact me anytime, and I have no problem in sharing details. If he meets me in person, I can show him all the emails.
Who's that? The lawyer?
Fernando. Yeah, Fernando.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let him know, man. I'll let him know. I'll give him your contact info, and we can move on from there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because documentation, everybody wants documents. I have an SEC case open. There's an FBI case open. I have a news lady in San Diego. She's covering this story. We have the Department of Business Oversight. We're going after as many entities going after this guy as possible. And now, there was always that doubt in the back of my head that what if this guy was a complete idiot and just didn't know what he was doing? But yeah, he knew what he was doing. He scammed everybody. Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. That's why he has different people managing different things, right? But see, I don't know. You actually you can find out more information if you can somehow subpoena the account statement for the specific forestry services PFSA Limited, the company that owns the land here. Because in the accounting documents that are filed every year, a record of who deposited money to you and how much is given every year. So from that you can actually find out the proceeds of sales of every year, because Teak was sold from this farm every year.
Yeah.
Something was sold every year from this farm, right?
Yeah.
So if somehow that accounting information can be subpoenaed, then you can probably get, who else bought from this farm in the last 5-6 years.
Okay. How would I get that? Where would I go for that?
So you can just tell Fernando to ask for the D151 declaration. D151 is the form that we file every year, and it has to tally. So when I pay somebody to buy Teak, I report that person, and that person reports me as well that he received, and I say I paid, and the amounts have to match.
Okay, cool.
Right? That happens here.
Okay, and that's at the tax office?
Yeah, in the tax office, exactly.
Okay, cool. And what was the company name that Ronald gave you, or Ivan? Was it Pacific Teak?
No, the company's name is Pacific Forestry Services, PFSA Limitada.
PFSL?
SA.
Oh, SA. Pacific Forestry.
Yeah. Pacific Forestry Services, PFSA Limitada. And the ID of the company is 3102-647-944.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the number that Carla said I definitely needed. So it's 3102-647-944.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you are awesome, man. You are awesome. I appreciate this, man. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here because I need to use the restroom.
I'll give you another piece of information. Probably it may have before we wrap it up.
Okay.
They have two domains. They have two email domains. One is pacificteak.com and the other is grupopacifico.net.
Yeah.
Carlos Briceño is on the first one. Ron Fleming is on the second one.
So Ron Fleming's using Grupo Pacifico.
Yes. And Carlos is using or used pacificteak.com at that time. Yeah, I don't know whether it can help, but
yeah, Grupo Pacifico is like the consolidation of all of the teak, and he has a foundation called Pura Vida Foundation down there that I found out it's nothing more than a money laundering operation. Supposedly it's a charity that he opened, but it ended up, his lawyer, the company lawyer, John, told me that was just for money laundering so he could get money back up to the United States. So, so GrupoPacifico.net, that was Ronald's using that. And Carlos is using PacificTeak.com or Pacific Teak. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's Carlos. All right. So, yeah.
Take care, man.
All right, buddy. You take care. I appreciate this. You are awesome. Enjoy your cappuccino. And
thank you.
I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yeah, talk to you, man. Take
care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.